I'm pleased and honored to be able to kick off this exciting day. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Elizabeth Hartman. I'm CEO of CHAMPCO. CHAMPCO has been serving the economic development needs of our community since 1960 and been active in the development of the industrial parks in the area since the 70s. I think this day can be summed up in one word: finally. For those of you that have worked on this project, you know that it's been a long time coming. The idea of fostering the development of aviation businesses here in our region is not a new idea. It's been around for a long time. And it really just makes sense to really identify the assets that we have and take advantage of our uniqueness. And one of the very unique things that we have in our community is the presence of EAA and the annual AirVenture Fly-In. We also have some tremendous assets to support development of aviation-related businesses, including the world-class facilities at Whitman Regional Airport, aviation education programming at UW-Oshkosh and Fox Valley Technical College, and an existing aviation business cluster. But if you want to foster development of an industry, you need to have a place to put folks. And for years, the airport had little or no land available for development. When I took over as CHAMPCO CEO in 2008, the very first conversation I had with County Board Chair Dave Albrecht was, Dave says to me, pulls me aside, says, Elizabeth, there's some land for sale next to the airport. We need it for economic development. It's up to you to make that happen and figure out how we develop it. And it might be 6 years later, but here we are, and lots of folks worked on that, including Dave Albrecht, to make it happen, to make the county today a proud co-owner of this aviation business park. And it will continue to take time, but this park will eventually be full of businesses that are creating jobs, contributing to the tax base, and cycling millions of dollars back into our economy. The wisdom of the idea of fostering development of aviation and aerospace businesses was not lost on UW-Oshkosh, which created Aero Innovate in 2008 to foster innovation in aviation and aerospace. Many thanks to Meredith Jager, who was the co-founder and first director of Aero Innovate, for building it into what it is today. It will be a tremendous synergistic asset as we look to develop this business park. And Aero Innovate will have an immediate impact on the park because the Business Accelerator program that's being developed by Aero Innovate and UW-Oshkosh will have a facility here, and it will be the very first development in this aviation business park. So thank you to UW-Oshkosh leadership for continuing to be supportive of Aero Innovate, as well as moving the Business Accelerator project and facility forward. I have a few folks that I need to thank. Our efforts here really have been noticed by lots of folks, including the state, which you'll hear from Lieutenant Governor Clayfish a little later in the program, as well as the federal government, which has generously provided 2 separate grants to support this park. One is a $2 million grant from the Economic Development Administration, which supports the infrastructure in the park, and the other is nearly $300,000 from the Department of Defense Office of Economic Adjustment, which has provided assistance for park planning efforts. And Dan Glasson from the Department of Defense Office of Economic Adjustment is here today, and I would like to thank Dan and his staff. East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission was a huge part of helping us write and get and administer those grants. So I'd like to recognize East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, in particular Kat Alquist, who is here today. I also would like to thank some folks on the CHAMPCO side. Bill Hare is here. He was the first chair of the CHAMPCO Aviation Development Committee, which was formed in 2009 with development and establishment of this park as its first priority. CHAMPCO board chairs during the last 5 years, Dave Omashinsky, Steve Schmudlock, and Sue Neitzel, who are also all 3 here, deserve thanks for their continued and unwavering support of this project. CHAMPCO, now city staff, Nancy Jo Dietzen, I would like to thank, because she kept things running smoothly behind the scenes when it was often a flurry of activity to keep this project going. And Jeremy Monette from Sonics Aircraft, as well as other airport tenants, have been very supportive of this project from the beginning, recognizing the tremendous potential that we have here to keep Oshkosh as the center of the general aviation universe for the other 51 weeks out of the year. Finally, it was the historic partnership between the City of Oshkosh and Winnebago County that made this project happen. Many thanks to City Manager Mark Roloff, Community Development Director Alan Davis and his staff, the Oshkosh Common Council, Winnebago County Executive Mark Harris, and Winnebago County Board Chair Dave Albrecht for buying into the vision for this park and continuing to look for creative ways to make it a reality even when we ran into stumbling blocks. The city and the county have given us a great example of a partnership and collaboration. Let's continue that partnership and collaboration as we work together to build this park and the economy of our future. Thank you. And I not only get to kick off the event, but I get to introduce the speakers today as well. And the first one we have is City Manager Mark Roloff. We've been fortunate to have City Manager Mark Roloff here since 2008 when he came to us with a breadth and depth of experience in local government management, from being the Assistant City Manager in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, all the way to most recently Town Administrator for Grand Chute. I've had the pleasure of working closely with Mark on several projects, including this one, and I have to tell you that I find his can-do attitude very refreshing, and I love that he's always willing to roll up his sleeves and sit down at the table and try to figure out creative ways to get things done. So please welcome City Manager Mark Roloff.
Elizabeth said to keep the comments short. I see the clouds, and if the wind blows away my speech, I'm going to just say thank you very much. Couple things. Elizabeth talked about the collaboration, and the collaboration that was necessary for this to come to fruition is just phenomenal. And there's so many people I'm looking across, thinking about the times we sat at the county board meeting. Rob Clayman's in the back, John Casper, Elizabeth, Jeremy Monette, all those folks who sat for hours to give a 2-minute testimony to the county board saying how important this was for both Winnebago County as well as the city. I want to thank everybody who touched this project in so many different ways. So many of you are part of it, and even if I didn't mention your name, I want to thank you for being part of it. Dave Albrecht for coming to my office probably about the first month or so, asking what I felt about aviation, and Elizabeth brought back a memory from Rancho Palos Verdes, California, that was over 22 years ago. And when I told them I was coming to Wisconsin, and I was in the city, going to the city of Berlin, Rancho Palos Verdes, California was actually an aviation community. A lot of Hughes aircraft and that. So a lot of folks in Rancho Palos Verdes knew about Oshkosh. Many of them came for the fly-in on an annual basis, but they were aviation geeks, literally and figuratively. When people say, you know, I love my council members, I'm happy you're here today, but I literally had rocket scientists on my council back then, and they knew about Oshkosh and its reputation, and that's why we're here today, to celebrate our commitment to aviation. Elizabeth mentioned the EDA grant, the Economic Development Administration grant, and how East Central and Chamco and my staff helped out so much. The council's support for it, the council's trust in us to get this done. This grant is for $2 million. All the infrastructure here is going to cost us about $4.6 million. We've also created a tax increment financing district to help cover the remaining 2.6. But the other part of the beauty of the EDA grant is, yes, it's covering a lot of the infrastructure, but we also, as we took a look at the feasibility for this tax increment financing district, it will help free up money that can be used for other investment, specifically an aviation accelerator that can go right here in this business park. Those are the types of creative ideas that we came up with. So it's not just that we got the EDA grant for the infrastructure, but what it means from that. Elizabeth mentioned Explorer Solution Study. That's part of the grant that we received from the Department of Defense. Dan, thank you very much. Thanks for being here. We received a portion of the $900,000 Department of Defense grant that was awarded to East Central Regional Planning Commission to address the impact of layoffs at Oshkosh Corporation. So how did that tie into aviation? Well, we demonstrated to them through the targeted industry study that we all worked on that identified aviation. Now, for those of you who've been around here for years, it's kind of like, well, duh, aviation, of course, Mark. But the reality is we saw and recognized the value that could happen here. And we're going to be able to work on developing some target clusters in aviation that will not only go in this business park, but in the entire area. And this study is not just to benefit Winnebago County, it's also to benefit the region. So we're looking at how it can impact Fond du Lac County and Winnebago, Wapaka, Outagamie, the entire East Central region. And that was part of what the Department of Defense grant recognized, because it's not just the impact that the Oshkosh Corp layoffs had here, but it's the ripple effect that it had. And ironically, we're on Ripple Road today. So, but the ripple effect that it will benefit everybody can't be understated. As far as when are we actually going to start the project? No, when we turn the dirt, it's not going to start the construction. We're still working on a few things with the DNR. Hi, Lieutenant Governor Clayfish. We're still working on a few things. Things are going okay, but we may just call you just in case. But we hope to begin in the next 2 to 6 months with completion of the infrastructure next year. That's our hope. With luck and maybe some more grants, we'll hope the accelerator facility can break ground maybe next year. We already, because of the freeing up of the money with the EDA grant, we've got some seed money there, and the university's been working feverishly. I know Tom Sonlander has been walking the halls down in Madison, talking to everybody he's known for 40, 50 years. I'm not going to go any more than 50, Tom. That's enough. But the university has been tireless in looking for opportunities to make this happen. And then just thank all the city staff, Community Development Director Davis, Darlene Brandt, who manages and babysits our grants and makes sure we're all in order. Nancy Joe, who just joined our staff from Chamco, as well as the folks who put this together today. If the rain comes, my public works folks are the ones picking up the chairs, unless you're planning to take them home. So thank you to Kevin Ewan and all the staff there that put this together and who will be monitoring this project until it's completed. Thanks to everybody for a really excellent collaborative project. And the best part of it all is this is just the beginning. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Now I have the pleasure of introducing the other Mark, Mark Harris, the Winnebago County Executive. Mark Harris has been our county executive since 2005. Prior to that, he had significant experience in the private sector as a trust officer and vice president of Associated Trust Company, and also experience in local government as an Oshkosh Common Council member, including one term as mayor. I have also worked with this Mark on many projects, including this one, and I'm always impressed by his ability to grasp complex issues and to use patience and persistence to solve issues and work through them. Please welcome Winnebago County Executive Mark Harris.
I've got a whole pad, but I promise you I'm only going to use one page. Winnebago County has traditionally had some concentrations in employment, certainly in defense, in the paper industry, and in the public sector, where we have University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley, UW Oshkosh, and University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley, all in this county. It would be great to add an additional concentration, an aviation-related concentration of general aviation without a lot of emphasis on defense, because we're trying to diversify our economy, and that diversification adds some security. Whitman Regional Airport started out as a commercial aviation center, but it's changed over time, and now it focuses on general aviation. It's home to the EAA. It's home to more than 25 aviation-related businesses already, and we'd like to see that grow in the future. Like many political successes, they build upon the efforts of lots of people that come before you. And certainly Dave Albrecht has worked for years on trying to accomplish this step, and it furthered it for many, many years. Also, the Aviation Committee Chairman, Bob Warnke, is the current chairman, but also his predecessors, Kathy Lennon and Stan Klein, also played a role in this, as well as many board members and other supporters. Certainly Chamco's had an ongoing role in this process. Peter Mall and the airport staff, the Economic Development Authority, the Department of Defense, and the Brennan family, who showed the patience of Job in their 20-year dealings with the county. These are just a few of the people that were involved and contributed, but this is a good thing, and it's going to move forward and create lots of jobs in this area over the long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Finally, I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest that we have with us today, Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch. Lieutenant Governor Kleefisch is our 44th Lieutenant Governor, having served us since 2010. The Lieutenant Governor has an impressive economic development portfolio, including serving as Wisconsin's Jobs Administrator, spearheading the Governor's Small Business Summits, and chairing the Manufacturing Committee of the Aerospace States Association. She was an early and strong supporter of Aero Innovate and clearly recognizes the tremendous opportunity that we have on a state level to foster the development of aviation and aerospace businesses. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch.
Well, thank you, everyone. I am not going to be the one who gets you all wet, and so I will be brief. I think that's why Mother Nature is threatening to keep the politicians short, correct? A lot of folks would look behind me and see a row crop field. What we see is the future of Wisconsin aviation and aerospace business, and that means jobs for Oshkosh. We are so excited about the collaboration that made today happen. And as the chairman of the Manufacturing Committee for the Aerospace States Association, I am deeply invested in what this project means for business here in Wisconsin, but also for Wisconsin's status and standing among all of the aviation and aerospace companies in the United States and around the globe. I know I'm supported in that sentiment by Representative from Senator Ron Johnson's office, Camille Solberg, who is here today, and Gordon Hintz, who is here today from Madison, your state representative. From Madison to Washington, D.C., Wisconsin is so tremendously proud that Whitman is a destination. But today is about making Whitman and Oshkosh, Winnebago County, much more than just a destination. We want it to be a place where, in order to soar, businesses will put down roots and we will see careers blossom, just like those plants behind me. Today is a great day for Oshkosh, for Winnebago County, and for the great state of Wisconsin. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and all of our speakers today. And thank you to all of you for coming out in this threatening weather to celebrate a new chapter in the history of our community. While this park has been a long time coming, and we celebrate finally getting here, this really is just the beginning, as Mark Roloff said. I'm confident that we will continue to work together to build this park and the economy of the future. I look forward to celebrating with you when this park is full and we are breaking ground on Oshkosh Aviation Business Park Phase 2. Now, this concludes the speaking part of our program. Now let's get about doing and grab some shovels and turn some dirt. And then after that, please feel free to hang around and have some refreshments and socialize. Thank you.